Hello and welcome to the May edition of Made in Lincoln UK. This is a social interactive documentary video magazine programme reflecting and promoting Lincoln District's life and events. Minster Yard is a wonderland of old domestic architectural buildings from all ages. The big red building with the large oriel stone window is one of the earliest examples of brick building in Lincoln, built around 1485. Further along there is a stone house with a bay window and a built-in gateway. This is a deanery. Note the attractive 15th century bay windows. And here we have a handsome range of Georgian buildings. These were once called the number houses, since they were the first houses in Lincoln to be known by numbers. This large gate, which is called the Exchequer Gate, was built in the 15th century. Remigius, a Norman bishop from Dorchester, began his cathedral around 1072 and took about 20 years for its completion. Sadly, he died the very day before its consecration. The cathedral was devastated by a fire in 1141 and earthquake in 1185 and was rebuilt by an inspired workaholic called Hugh of Avalon. This is known as a chapter house with its flying buttresses. It was built around 1230 and the name is derived from the custom of the cathedral governing body in reading a chapter from the Bible prior to the transaction of cathedral business.
Hi, I'm Libby Owen-Jones. I'm currently exhibiting at the gallery at St Martin's in Lincoln. I'm currently a BA Fine Arts student at Loughborough College of Arts, and my art exhibition is called Disparate Marks. It's an exhibition of square formatted canvas paintings in oil paints, and it uses a little bit of mixed media, so there's some pen, pencil and spray paint in there as well. Imagination, memory and repetition cooperate together to form an abstract paradox determined by colour, pattern and shape. I explore the relationship between crude cartoon and the reticent qualities of paint through the communication of disparate marks. Working within self-bound limits, I have formed an aesthetic language where the premeditated seems instinctive. The paintings give the appearance of chance and free will, but are challenged by a deterministic approach, a practice impulse that explores the antagonistic potential of the trace. Each composition, drawn from imagination, has competing focal points. I call these interruptions. I incorporate and expose traces of visual configurations, using trial and error to drive my creative process. My direction is decided through a process of elimination, learning and judgment. What looks good to me, it also works together formalistically. Through trial and error, I develop my own patterns, shapes and line. This process is repetitive, yet rhythmic in its progression. The paintings create a personal abstract universe that allows for colour and shape to exist in free space, simplifying, for me, through paint, my own chaotic world into a personal aesthetic alphabet of tensions and interplays. Disparate Marks is an interactive and playful approach to exhibiting paintings. The audience participates in decoding the artworks as each painting is open-ended and susceptible to contrasting explanations. I encourage the viewers towards a personal and nostalgic contemplation as they themselves define the artwork. Viewers here are invited to respond to each painting by describing what they see before them, with interest arising in the exposure of private associations that differ from person to person. Disparate Marks attempts to disrupt the relationship between artist and audience through an interactive method. The viewer explores their own memory, imagination, and subconscious to form their own abstract paradox and artistic language rather than searching for the concepts and direction of the artist. Each painting reveals one interpretation after another. A bush looks like a sheep looks like a cloud. There are multiple identities for each line, shape, and pattern. Please take a card and look at what is in front of you. Consider each painting and search for any imagery that you personally can draw out. This is my feedback wall for my exhibition. This is an ongoing feedback, so these are the ones that I've had from the private view. Basically, people are invited to take a piece of paper and walk around the exhibition, looking at the labelled artworks and responding to them how they see fit. It's a really free way of breaking down that relationship between the artist and the audience and kind of asking people what they think it is rather than them second guessing me and wondering why I've done something and why I've put something there. In fact, I'm really interested in what they think. So, I mean, it's not censored and it can be quite explicit just because it differs so much from person to person. But we've got all sorts here. There's someone saying something looks like a seizure or a seaside placenta, someone's written, chandeliers, a fluffy tree, pink water balloon, and I really, really enjoy, and I think the viewer does as well, sort of the humour in it, and I don't think it needs to be necessarily very serious, so I think it's really funny, like, me personally, I find it really funny viewing what people see in my own work and how they respond to it, and it kind of brings me and my audience closer together. And they can have a laugh as well, so.
I am Peter K. Rollings. My project is called Experimental Sonic Machines, and as its name suggests, it consists of interesting gizmos and machines which I make from things I find in skips and old mechanical things, and I just come up with interesting ideas and try and make a kind of art from them that's reaching into the unknown, trying new things, and there's a lot of theatricality to it as well. And I've just done a show involving 7 sort of science fiction costumes, we might call them, but really they don't belong to any genre. It's like an art adventure I'm on, where I'm just reaching into the unknown with music and sound and theatricality. I find the Lincoln Mystery Plays an inspiration, where you have these medieval, interesting plays which involve a lot of costumery and masks. So drawing on from that, I've brought that into my performance. And so I've made these 7 new costumes, which I've just opened recently in Lincoln. Had a good turnout. It's gone down really well, so it's very encouraging. And then I'll also perform regularly at open mics and gigs. I'm also trying to reach out from Lincoln now. I've been going for about 5 years at open mics, and now I feel confident enough to reach out across Britain to do further afield gigs, taking this sonic machinery to new audiences.
C'est quelque chose de très difficile, je trouve.
This one's called Ignite.
But tonight we quell the riots as it burns.
Well, there we go. That wraps it up for this edition. Now remember, this is your video platform. If you have any ideas or topics or issues that you feel would be of interest to the people throughout the Lincoln district, then get in touch with me and I'll put it in the big picture.